So it feels like I haven't filmed a video in ages, so if I'm a little rusty at this, my apologies. I literally feel like I haven't done this before and I'm starting again. Today I'm going to be doing a Cara Delevingne inspired makeup tutorial. She recently attended a gala, I think it was like LC something, I don't know. But her makeup looked incredible. It was kind of like a warm brown smoky eye and it just looked amazing, and it's by far one of my favourite makeup looks I've seen her wear. And before I start, I just want to say, in my makeup tutorials, as always, I'm not a professional and I'm not going to completely change my face so I actually look like her. It's just the makeup look that she was wearing. Think of me like the pirate code. I'm more like a guideline than a set tutorial. You can use whatever products you like, and this is going to be more of a guideline of, I would use something like this, I would use a concealer, I would use a brown eyeshadow, I don't know. Something like that anyway. So I will link the makeup look that Cara's wearing up in the description box below, so you can just open that in a new tab or, you know, go look at it after or whatever. Anyway, let's get on with the video. So for this makeup look, Cara's skin looked super lovely and natural and quite dewy. I'm going to take the safe bet and use Nars Sheer Glow because it is just perfectly natural, dewy, really perfecting. It's just the most gorgeous foundation. It probably wasn't the one used on Cara because I think it does have SPF in it. So it probably wasn't the one used on Cara, but I'm going to use that today because I don't plan on being packed today, I'm not going to lie. It's not on my list of things to do today. So I've just taken a bit on the back of my hand and it's getting a bit runny, so I'm going to dab this on rather quickly. Buffing this in with my Tarte foundation brush. So next I'm going to be using the Collection Illuminating Touch concealer, that's the word. And I thought I'd use this because it's one of my favourite concealers. I don't use it very often and I could feel that this tutorial is going to be really high-end heavy if I didn't use this. So, well, if I didn't use a few drugstore products. Trying to balance it out, you know. Next I'm going to powder a bit. I've just become obsessed with powdering recently. I'm going to be using the, I've already started using the Revlon Stay Matte powder thing. I have the shade 006, I think. It's like warm beige, yeah, that's the one. Next I'm going to go in and contour, and it doesn't really look like Cara's got too much on her skin. It looks like she's got a little bit of blush. I can't really tell if she's got any bronzer on her skin, so I'm not sure if I'm going to use any yet. I might warm up my face just at the end of this because my face actually needs it. I'm going to be using the Kevyn Aucoin Sculpting Powder. I've really been enjoying using this recently. This was in my October favourites, and I just used the Real Techniques contour brush and just swirl it in there. It's really hard to do on this side, I should have started on the other side. And just blend it up, because otherwise I can really drag my cheekbones down. My cheekbones are quite low. There are some things that you just shouldn't know about yourself, but I do. And then we have blush, and I'm just going to be using the Rimmel Santa Rose blush, which looks like this, and it's just a really lovely pink natural blush, and it doesn't really look like Cara's really got much on her skin at all. You can tell there's the tiniest bit of blush there and not much else, so I wasn't going to go for anything overly bright today. Next we're going to move on to eyes. I'm going to do eyes before brows because I'm going to make my brows really bold today, and I find that if you do your eyes first you don't feel the shock so much if you do it that way around. So firstly I'm going to be using the Naked Basics palette. I've just stuck my finger in the eyeshadow, great. I'm going to be using this one because Cara has just got a really lovely neutral colour all over her eyelid as kind of the base. I'm going to be using my Naked Palette 1, but that doesn't have the colour that I need in it, so I'm going to be taking from the Naked Basics palette as well. So I'm going to be taking the two lightest shades, which are Venus and Foxy, and one is a more yellowy colour and one is a more whitey, kind of slightly more shimmery colour. And I'm just going to pop a tiny bit of Venus in my inner corner as well, just to brighten things up. So now we've got the initial colour on the eyelid down, I'm going to be using F.A.Q from the Naked 1 palette, which is this one here. It's basically a matte, really warm, lovely brown. So I'm going to be taking a MAC 217 brush. You can use any brush. I like to use the Zoeva 227 or the soft definer, whatever you call it. And then I'm going to be taking this through my crease. And the interesting thing about this makeup look in particular is that it's winged out like this, but it also then is blended up almost to the start of the brow, which I really like. I think it's actually really flattering. So I'm going to be taking my Zoeva 231 Luxe Petite Crease Brush, and I'm going to be popping that in Toasted, which is this shade here. It's kind of like a shimmery pink. Next I'm going to be taking a little bit of Dark Horse, which is this grey brown here, and I'm just going to use this in the outer corners of the lower lash line. What I'm going to do, just to blend all of that out, is I'm going to very lightly take Buck onto the same brush. This brush is going to need such a wash later. I actually need to get around to washing my brushes. And I'm just blending that over everything and taking it quite far down as well. I'm just going to take my MAC 217 again, pop it in Buck, the warm brown shade, and just take that through once more, just to make sure everything is really nicely blended in and into the outer corners. Okay, now I'm moving on to eyeliner, because if I spend any longer on eyeshadow I may go a bit over the top. So I'm going to be using the Bobbi Brown Longwear eye pencil in bronze, and this is a really gorgeous warm brown liner. I'm just going to be popping this in the lower waterline. I'm now going to do liquid liner, and I'm always using the Collection Fast Stroke liquid liner. It's the only one I ever use because I am a creature of habit. So I'm starting kind of in the middle. This is how I always start. I don't ever start right at the beginning. Kind of get my middle done and then go back and do the beginning. So now that I've done the flick, I'm just going to join it up with the rest of the liner. They've actually turned out okay, so I'm really happy with that. Next I'm going to do my brows and then come back to mascara, because this liner stays wet for quite a while and I don't want to use my eyelash curlers and then the eyelash curlers end up taking the liner off. Now we move on to brows, and I'm going to do a few different things and give you some options of things that you can do to beef up your brows without looking a bit too over the top. First option is the Revlon Brow Fantasy. I like this a lot, and I've spoken about that in our favourites before. And then the Soap & Glory Archery pencil. I have the blonde one, but there is a darker one. The blonde one works just as well though, weirdly, but anyway. And then for the high end I have the Bobbi Brown Brow Kit, which I love. So I'm actually going to be using a mixture of all three, but you can just use one of them depending on what you have, or you can just use your own brow product that you use on a daily basis. But I'm going to use each one of these for a different reason. The Revlon Brow Fantasy I'm going to be using for the gel on the end, and the Soap & Glory Archery pencil I'm going to be using for the start of my brows, and then for the kind of actual shape and beefing out the brows I'm going to use the Bobbi Brown Brow Kit. I'm going to start off with the Soap & Glory pencil, and this is a great one because it has a little spoolie on one end and then a really tiny pencil on the other end. It's quite similar to the Anastasia brow pencil thing, and I just think it's one of the best kind of pencil spoolie products you can buy. So I'm just going to comb through my brows and make them look a little bit neater, and I always comb through before I put product on them because you can see the shape so much better and you can see what you're working with. And then I'm going to take the little pencil on the end and just fill in any sparse bits. I'm bringing this right brow, or my right brow, down a little bit because Cara's actually come down quite far, and this one actually doesn't match my other brow. This one sits higher up than my other one. Next I'm moving on to the Bobbi Brown Brow Kit, and this is just my favourite brow kit. And I'm going to be using the Zoeva 317 Winged Liner Brush. So I'm going to do the underneath just ever so slightly. I used to beef up the underneath quite a lot, but I feel like it was really dragging my brows down, so I just kind of do this section here. So I'm building up more on the top than I used to now. Then I'm going in and doing the top. And finally for brows, I'm going to use the dark brow gel on the Revlon Brow Fantasy, and Cara's brows for this look were incredibly brushed up, like they were just brushed up vertically, and I'm pretty sure that's just to beef them up and make them look super bushy, which does look mental, so I haven't ever done this before, and I think my brow hairs are actually too short to do this, so I'm just gonna roll with it. Okay, so that's pretty much the makeup look done. I'm just going to move on to lips, and there wasn't really a lot going on Cara's lips. It literally looked like she had nothing on. But what I'm basically going to do is just do a very subtle bit of lining just to make it look like I actually have a top lip, and then I'm just going to use the MAC Patisserie lipstick, which is one of my favourites. I'm just going to pat that in, make it look so natural and like there's barely any lipstick there, and I think that'll be us done. And then I'm just gonna blend that in. And I have just realised that I forgot to do my mascara, so let's do that before I go. So I'm going to be using my Kevyn eyelash curlers as always. So I'm using the Maxfactor False Lash Effect mascara because it looks like she's got quite a lot of volume in her lashes, and this is just one of the perfect mascaras for giving lots and lots of volume and length at the same time. And then I'm going to be using the Maxfactor Clump Defy False Lash Effect. Big False Lash Effect fan, it's the purple one, looks like this. And I'm just going to be using that on my lower lash line. So that is my finished makeup look. I'm really happy with this. Let me know if you guys like the makeup look in the comments below. I really love it personally. I'm a big fan of a smoky eye, and the darker I can get my makeup at the moment, the better. Really just loving that at the moment, and you guys seem to really like that as well. I'm quite enjoying doing celebrity makeup tutorials at the moment. I've filmed a couple of them. I'm going to be filming the Lily Collins look from the Italian Love Rosie premiere, which was a really gorgeous vampy look, and I'm really excited to share that with you guys. Let me know if there are any other celebrity makeup tutorials that you would like to see. I've got a long list already from past videos that I've done where you guys have told me what you'd like to see, but as usual, just remind me in the comments below. I've rambled so much through this, I'm so sorry. Yeah, I will see you guys hopefully on Thursday for a vlog. I hope you've all had a lovely weekend. Bye! Speaking too fast. I'm just ringing my brother back.